If someone asks how business is going and your automatic answer is manic, that can almost feel like a good thing because you're busy. Customers want what you sell and there's plenty happening. But there's a big difference between having a busy business and running a business that constantly feels manic. Busy is sometimes unavoidable. Manic shouldn't be the business model. Hi, I'm Marie from Next Steps for Business, and I help small business owners make practical improvements to the way that their business works without feeling like they need to completely rebuild it or reinvent the wheel. And one of the outcomes I think we should all be aiming for is a business that feels more manageable to run. Because being constantly rushed off your feet isn't the only sign that things are going well. There will always be busy periods in business. You might land a big piece of work, have several deadlines at once, launch something new, or just have one of those weeks where absolutely everything seems to happen at the same time. That's normal. The problem is when the exception becomes the norm, when every week feels like a race to keep up. You're constantly jumping to whatever seems most urgent. There's always more work than time. And if you take a day off, you feel like you spend the next 3 days trying to catch up. That's when I'd start asking whether the business is working as well as it could. Because very few small businesses are perfectly designed from the beginning. Most of us build them as we go. We create a process because something needs doing. We add another piece of software because we need it for something. We find a way of doing a job and then keep doing it that way because, well, that's how we've always done it. And none of those decisions necessarily causes a problem on its own. But put enough of them together and you can end up with a business that needs far more time and attention to run than it actually should. Maybe you're doing too much manually. Maybe you've got some information stored in 5 different places. Maybe you're constantly switching between jobs because everything feels equally as important. Maybe a process has 10 steps when it could actually just have 5. Or maybe you've just got more work than you could realistically have the capacity to do. And I think this is where we need to challenge something. We usually measure how well a business is doing with numbers, customers, sales, revenue, profit. And obviously those things matter. But I think there's another really useful question to ask. How easy is it to run your business? If every day is spent reacting to whatever feels most urgent, that's worth looking at. If routine jobs take far longer than they should, that's worth looking at. If everything relies on you remembering what needs to happen next, that's worth looking at. And if you're working flat out but you never quite feel like you're on top of things, that's definitely worth looking at as well. It doesn't mean you've built a bad business. It means there are opportunities to make it work better. And when I talk about building a calmer business, I don't mean a quiet business. I'm not suggesting you should be sitting at a desk with an empty inbox and nothing on your to-do list. I'm not sure that version of running a business actually exists. A calm business can still be a really busy business. You can have deadlines, problems, decisions for weeks. The difference is that you know what's happening and what needs your attention. You don't have to keep the entire business in your head. Routine work happens routinely. You know what your priorities are. And when something unexpected happens, you've got enough capacity somewhere to deal with it without everything else falling apart. That's a very different kind of busy. So if your business constantly feels manic, don't automatically assume you need to become more productive. Instead, ask yourself, what's actually creating the pressure? Is there a process that repeatedly causes problems? Is too much dependent on you? Are repetitive jobs taking longer than they should? Are you constantly switching priorities? Are you doing things that don't really need doing anymore? Or have you just taken on more work than you have capacity for? You don't need to fix everything all at once. Find the thing that's creating the most unnecessary pressure and improve that first. And then find the next thing. because building a successful business isn't about making sure you're constantly busy. It's about building a business that works, about building one that gradually gives you more clarity, more control, and more capacity. There will still be weeks when someone asks how business is going, and the only accurate answer is manic. But that should describe that week that you're having, not the business that you've built. If you want more practical ways to make your business work better, subscribe to Next Steps for Business. And well done for taking some time to work on your business and not just in your business with me today. I'll catch you on the next one.